Long before The Secret, before growth mindset, before the modern explosion of self-help and biohacking, there was one book. A book from 1952 that sold millions of copies with a simple, powerful, and almost audacious promise that you could change your life by changing your thoughts. That book was Norman Vincent Peale's cultural phenomenon, The Power of Positive Thinking. To our modern ears, the title might sound a bit simplistic, even naive. But what if this old classic contains the psychological source code for much of the mindset advice we follow today? What happens when we look past the old-fashioned language and examine the powerful mental techniques that made this book a global sensation? Today on Geeky Philosopher, we are going on a journey to deconstruct a classic. We will explore the timeless power of belief, not just as a matter of faith, but as a practical psychological tool for creating a better life. The entire philosophy of Norman Vincent Peale, a minister by trade but a psychologist at heart, can be boiled down to one powerful principle. Your inner world of thought and belief is the primary creative force of your outer world of success and failure. He argues that most of us are prisoners of our own negative thoughts. We are trapped in a cycle of worry, fear, self-doubt, and resentment. This mental state doesn't just make us feel bad, it actively creates bad outcomes in our lives. A person who is constantly thinking about failure will act in hesitant, fearful ways that make failure more likely. The solution, Peale argues, is a deliberate and disciplined practice of mind control. This is not about brainwashing, it is about becoming the conscious master of your own mental atmosphere. He proposes a two-step process. First, you must systematically empty your mind of the negative, and second, you must actively fill it with the positive. Before you can plant a beautiful garden, you must first pull the weeds. Peale's first practical technique is the urgent need to empty the mind of its destructive negative thoughts. So how do you do this? Well, he suggests a daily practice of mental cleansing. You just find a quiet moment and consciously visualize all the worries, all the fears, all the grudges of the day just flowing out of your mind. He saw this as a form of prayer, a way of, handing your burdens over to a higher power. From a modern psychological perspective, this is actually a powerful precursor to mindfulness meditation. It's really the act of observing your negative thoughts without judgment, and just allowing them to pass through you without taking root. It's about creating a quiet, clean mental space. Once you've created this mental space, you must then actively fill it with positive, powerful, and faithful thoughts. This is the positive thinking part of the equation. Peale argues that you must cultivate a deep and abiding faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your future, faith in your abilities, and for him, faith in God. From a secular psychological viewpoint, what Peale calls faith is what modern scientists would call self-efficacy and a positive expectancy bias. It's the profound and honestly scientifically validated belief that you are capable of achieving your goals, and the expectation that good things will happen. When you genuinely believe in a positive outcome, you trigger a powerful psychological phenomenon, the self-fulfilling prophecy. Your belief changes your behavior. You act with more confidence, you see more opportunities, you are more resilient in the face of setbacks. And this very behavior makes the positive outcome you believe in far more likely to occur. Your faith becomes a creative force. So, how do you build this powerful, confident mindset? Peale offers a set of practical, almost startlingly modern mental techniques. The first is the practice of picture-izing success. This is what we would now call visualization. He advises his readers to create a clear, detailed, and vivid mental picture of themselves succeeding at their goal. Not just thinking about it, but feeling it, seeing it, and holding that image in their mind. Modern sports psychology has proven that this technique is incredibly effective. Athletes who vividly visualize a successful performance are priming their nervous system and their muscles to actually execute that performance. The second tool is the use of thought conditioners, which we would now call affirmations. Peale understood that our unconscious mind believes what it is repeatedly told. He prescribed writing down powerful positive statements, like "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," or a secular version, "I possess the creative power to solve this problem," and repeating them throughout the day. So, this is actually a method of deliberately reprogramming those negative, self-defeating scripts that, so often just run in the background of our minds. Now, it's important to understand that Peale was a minister, and his book is, well, filled with religious language. He talks about faith in God and the power of prayer. But here's the thing, the Geeky Philosopher's take is that the deep psychological power of this book is really available to everyone, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are. We can totally translate his faith-based language into secular psychological terms. Faith in a higher power can actually be understood as the psychological act of surrender and trust, the ability to let go of the ego's need to control everything and, to trust in a positive outcome. And prayer can be seen as a really powerful form of focused intention and meditative self-talk. It's the act of clarifying your goals and aligning your mental energy with them. Whether you see the power as coming from a divine source, or from the untapped potential of your own unconscious mind, the practical result is, honestly, the same. The book is a guide to harnessing the incredible power of belief to shape your reality. The Power of Positive Thinking is a classic for a reason. While its language may be from a different era, its core message is a timeless and profound philosophical truth. The world you experience is a reflection of the thoughts you hold. It's a powerful reminder that we are not the passive victims of our circumstances. We are, in fact, the active creators of our own mental and emotional states. We have the power to choose fear or to choose faith. And we have the power to dwell on our limitations or to focus on our possibilities. Now, this is not a naive call to ignore the real problems of the world. It's actually a strategic and philosophical argument that, honestly, the most powerful tool you have for changing the world is the ability to first change your own mind. This book is, in a way, a user's manual for one of the oldest and most powerful technologies in the world, the human mind. It's an invitation to take control of your inner world so that you can become the master of your outer world. If you are someone who believes in the profound power of your own thoughts to shape your reality, then you are a student of this philosophy. So, consider subscribing to Geeky Philosopher, where we are dedicated to exploring the ideas that help us build a more powerful and positive life. Thank you for being here.